Brought to you by stationhousecoffee.com and inspireddisorder.com/prime.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Right at your door. An independent film came out in 2006. So long ago. Little independent film, small cast, mostly shot in one location, about a dirty bomb that goes off in L.A. It's a couple who lives in L.A., and the husband is an artist type or whatever, works from home or unemployed. I don't know. They don't really go into it. And then the wife works downtown. So she leaves, movie starts, she leaves, she goes to work, and then all of a sudden there's a bomb, and then the bomb is supposedly tainted with a virus. So they have to lock down LA. So there's a scene where the husband is going out to try and get to his wife. So there's the frantic kind of driving scene through the LA hills, which he wasn't able to do because cops blocked it off and all this kind of stuff. And you're hearing all the exposition on the radio of what's going on and things are getting closed down and all this kind of stuff. So very kind of suspenseful type of a movie, which I enjoyed, although overall this movie felt like a short film that was stretched out to feature length. Because there's a few characters that show up that kind of don't meet. They're kind of pointless. There's this kid who, while the husband is out trying to get to his wife, but then can't, so he's going back to his house. He sees a kid just looking at the downtown area where smoke is coming out, and he tells the kid to go home. And then that kid shows up again later, but it's not the kid wouldn't have even had to exist. Even if the kid did not exist, it wouldn't have changed this movie at all. It's he didn't add anything to it, even though he comes back later and then they try and help the kid. And then there's a handyman. So the guy tries to save his wife, can't do it, goes home after he tells his kid, "Hey kid, go home." And then he goes home, the husband, and he doesn't, or he goes to a hardware store, and people are trying to get all kinds of supplies, and for some reason the camera shows the aisle where the duct tape is. There's a lot of duct tape kind of close-ups in this movie. It almost feels like duct tape was a sponsor of the movie, because duct tape can apparently help you protect against dirty bombs. So he's at the hardware store trying to pick up, I forget what he's there for, but then hears that go home, you need to block up your house and tape it all shut. So he goes in and grabs a bunch. It's everybody's looting this hardware store, and then after he gets the tape, the store owner just tells everybody to get out, and then he just closes the hardware store. It's one of the most awkward kind of rioting scenes for I don't know. I didn't really like it. And the fact that it was very heavy on the duct tape was a little weird also. So he gets the supplies, he goes home, and there's somebody in his house. The next door neighbor's handyman is just randomly in his house. And there's no real altercation there. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing in my house?" He's like, "I don't know where to go." It's why don't you go to the neighbors that you work at? But I don't know. He's there for some reason. So the handyman helps the husband kind of prepare and tape up all of the windows and doors and kind of seal up the house, and which is surprising how much plastic was available in the house. I mean, they did just move. The premise is this couple just moved into this new house, so a lot of the packaging was used in the moving supplies, but kind of ridiculous how much plastic was around. But thankfully, he was able to pick up the duct tape that he didn't have, and they tape it up. And then you're a lot of the movie is just kind of them sitting in the house, and then you're hearing stuff from the radio of everything's locked down. Make sure you stay inside. Anybody that's outside is highly contagious. This virus is in the ash that's falling. So, like, outside the windows, you're seeing, like, ash just kind of raining down, which is kind of interesting because around this time, 2006, actually, it would have been a few years earlier, there were a ton of fires in San Diego. I was living in San Diego at the time. There were like 3 or 4 fires in different locations kind of surrounding San Diego. So there was one morning after the fires started, I woke up and went outside, and the sky was just like this bright brown. It's crazy brown sky, and all the cars were covered in gray snow with ash, and it was crazy, and you could see the ash it just horrible air quality. And by the way, Costco made its employees work. Even the ones that worked outside, they gave them shitty masks to wear and just made everybody work outside despite horrible air quality. But yeah, this movie kind of reminded me of that time. Looked very good. The director of this has been an art director for a bunch of movies, so I can see like the look of everything looked good. It is a good looking, aesthetically pleasing film, even though the dark subject matter, it had a dark look to it. So he helps. Of course, the wife somehow comes home, right? She had there's a scene where she wrecked her car or whatever, so I guess she ran home with avoiding the cops somehow. I don't know. So she gets home, and she's like really angry that she can't come inside because everybody, they've been hearing on the radio, you got to quarantine, don't let them in. Anybody infected, they're highly contagious, blah, blah, blah. Which is like, I can get it. It seemed like her performance was a little bit overboard, and it could have just been how it was written. But eventually, eventually he ends up opening a part of the house, like just sealing off a room, like kind of so she can go into a bedroom and exist inside the house and just tape the doorway up between the bedroom and the rest of the house. So they kind of do that eventually after she sleeps outside. She breaks a window. So there's a scene where she's angry, and I think it could have been early when she gets back and she's angry and she has her phone in her hand and she so angry and she punches through the window because she wants to break in, and the phone goes flying out of her hand into the house, kind of contaminating the house in a way, potentially. But then they were able to reseal it up, and eventually, she goes around, she gets some supplies. He, a day later, thinks of opening up a room for her. Randomly, the handyman guy says, I gotta go. My wife, I can't get a hold of her, so I'm just gonna leave and just walk to my house. So peace. I'm not gonna stay here anymore. So the dude that really had no reason to be there, zero reason. The husband could have come home from trying to find his wife, driving around the LA streets with all of his duct tape, and he could have taped up that house on his own. He didn't need the guy there. And the guy added nothing to the story, nothing to the plot. You don't know anything about him other than he's the neighbor's handyman that somehow didn't bunker up at the neighbor's house. And then he has a wife. It's just kind of like, I don't understand. I don't understand what they were there for. But then, yeah, there's there's the cops, and the government is going around to the different houses, kind of designating them, depending on how well they're kind of locked down. And there's all this talk of getting a vaccine and getting medicine to people to help them, which is a fast turnaround for getting medicine. But the end of this movie, this could have easily been. That's why I think it was a short film, because if you didn't have that kid, which later the kid shows up and they're like, oh, we got to take care of the kid, so it's give him some water. But then the kid just they take the kid, the government gets the kid. I don't know. It's there are aspects of this movie I really enjoyed. The performances are good for the most part. But it really felt like just a short film that was blown out to be a feature film. And then the end is just very heartbreaking. There's a twist end that has to do with that phone potentially contaminating the inside of the house, and then how that let's just say sometimes viruses can evolve and grow and change and become worse. And let's just say the end of this movie is like just like it's heartbreaking, but then all at the same time, like it's just written to be that way. It's not like a twist ending where it makes you think back of like all of these opportunities where they should have known that that was going to be a big idea. I don't know. Just it's an independent thriller that was interesting, especially for the reality that we're living in now. But ultimately, it felt like a short film that just had way too much fat on the bone. But yeah, that's what I thought about Right at Your Door. I mean, you watch it if you want. It's on Hulu or Amazon Prime if you want to check it out. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Station House Coffee, on Instagram and stationhousecoffee.com. If you're looking for amazing, premium, single origin, small batch coffee, you want to order that coffee, you want that coffee brewed in Vermont, you want that coffee shipped directly to you, then I recommend going to stationhousecoffee.com and ordering yourself some amazing coffee, and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. Also, get 30 days free of Amazon Prime by going through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Prime. Of course, everybody knows what you get with Prime. You get free 2-day shipping. You also get streaming on millions and billions of movies and TV shows. You get to borrow Kindle books and so many more things, like streaming music. So many things when you get Amazon Prime, and you could try it out for 30 days when you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Prime. Go through my link and sign up now, inspireddisorder.com/Prime. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com, and follow Ray Taylor Show on Instagram. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!